I asked, genuinely interested and wanting to understand more about something that was trying to hunt me. No, the Utuku are not sorcerers, nor are we elementals. The use of blood magic in our kind has different repercussions from yours. It makes them incredibly powerful, much more so than any shadow could hope to combat. But with that power comes insanity and a twisted appearance. Enlil looked down at his feet. I pray you never come across their kind. Why is he... I started. It is male, yes. Why is he hunting us? You. He's hunting you, not us. He cares little for my kind, or anyone who isn't him, to be honest. Hellequin's arrival appears to have sparked some interest from people you would rather not deal with. I looked out across the terrain behind us. The constant hills and rock formations made it easy for someone to stay hidden and out of sight. Why did this monster stalk me? What was his purpose? And how had he discovered my being here? My arrival was meant to be unknown. Then you have a leak that needs plugging. We will reach Acre tonight. Asag will not pursue you into the city. Enlil laid down, his red-tinged skin becoming darker as he fell asleep. I dozed on and off for a few hours until dusk once again brought a need for Enlil and me to move. There was more speed now, being so close to our destination, and I felt a surge of relief when the lights of Acres shone in the distance. But after a short while, Enlil stopped and looked behind me. Run! I didn't need telling twice, and the two of us were soon sprinting toward Acre, but there was a low roar that caused me to stop and freeze while the safety of the city was close in the distance. We weren't going to make it. Enlil, stop moving! Enlil did as I asked, looking at me with a mixture of concern and realization. You hear that? I asked, as the low rumble that appeared to come from all around us grew in size. Asag is here, he told me. I risked a look behind me and saw something standing on top of a hill only a few hundred yards away. Its massive shape was masked by the darkness, but I knew it was what had been hunting us. Asag, I presume, I asked. Enlil looked up at the hill and nodded once. He must have ignored the pain of daylight travelling. The earth around our feet exploded, and a dozen creatures tore free, standing just out of reach. Each of them was about 2 feet high and appeared to be made of solid rock. An extension of Asag's power. These creatures are a part of him. Destroy these, and it weakens him. Enlil drew a sword from the sheath on his hip. I stared at the relatively small creatures. Asag must have been pushing them in front of us while he chased from behind. It was a smart move, and now we were trapped only a short distance from the city. Hellequin! The voice of Asag boomed through the night as the monster began walking towards us. You are not welcome here. None of your kind are. My kind? I asked Enlil. Avalon. I unsheathed the Jian, a Chinese sword, and held it towards Asag, ignoring the small creatures between us. Feel free to come remove me. Asag screamed in rage and charged towards us as his creatures pounced. I knocked one into another using my air magic, trying to ensure they didn't swarm over us. Enlil stabbed his blade into one of the creatures and was forced to leave it there, using his natural strength to throw the creatures around as he made his way toward Asag, where his battle began anew. I was too preoccupied with keeping the smaller creatures busy to watch them fight, but after a short time the creatures vanished back into the ground, and I turned to Enlil and Asag, moving toward the pair to help my guide. Enlil was holding his own against the larger Asag, but that soon turned when the small creatures burst from the ground, grasping hold of Enlil. I was flat out sprinting when Asag punched a hole through Enlil's chest, tearing out his heart and tossing it aside as if it were nothing. Asag picked up Enlil's lifeless body and threw it at me, forcing me to dodge aside, right into the path of his minions, who quickly swarmed over me, dragging me down as I threw magic around, trying to give myself a fighting chance. Asag stalked over until he towered above my kneeling position. Hellequin should have stayed at home. He raised his hand, and I ignited my fire magic, pouring everything into it. The magic forced the creatures off me and caused Asag to scream out in pain. He staggered back as I got to my feet, ready to tear him apart. But the noise of a horse galloping behind me made Asag's eyes widen with shock. I didn't dare risk...